Okay, so we were talking about least restrictive environment, and least restrictive environment to me means a placement for a student who is able to grow. I believe if a student is not able to grow, whether that is socially, emotionally, and or academically, then that is not the best placement for the student. But for a student to grow can look differently for each individual. I have seen students that were in the gen ed classes and they were able to grow through learning socially what is socially acceptable and interacting with peers and working as a team. That student may not have remembered 100% all of the material that the teacher had taught, but the student was still growing. I also have had students who have been in the general education classroom and learned a lot academically and was able to take the test, pass the test, and grew in that subject area, along with learned more of the social skills. So I feel that um, going into inclusion in the general education setting, I feel that the classroom needs to be a blend of all different levels. I think we as teachers feel sometimes it'd be easier just to have all the lower students who need certain supports need to be in one class for one period of the day, and the higher students who are a little more advanced that need less supports should be in a different class, a different period of day. And that is not how it should work, because we should not be looking at what's easiest for us as teachers, but what's best for the students. And what's best for the students is for them to be blended in together and be with their peers. I feel that my school struggles. Some of our staff sometimes struggles with differentiation in the material in the general education classroom. I feel that a lot of teachers don't necessarily have the background of special education, and so it is somewhat foreign language, but they are very open to understanding and adapting their lessons to meet the needs of all the students. Um, I also feel that a lot of the differentiation in the classrooms for students really consist of the intervention specialists, the aides working together to find resources to benefit all students of a variety of levels. I have run into the issue with general education teachers. Some have a hard time understanding that a student on my caseload who is going into the general education classroom and getting the core lesson and getting the social aspect from the class. I'm not expecting for that student to retain 100% everything. I'm not expecting for the student to pass an exam. And I think it's very hard for teachers, some teachers, to understand that, it's okay if the student only gets a small piece of the lesson. I like to use the analogy with my colleagues is a candy bar. The gen ed students, they are working towards understanding the full length of the candy bar, all the aspects of each and every lesson. But the students that I have who are on a modified curriculum or IEP, we are looking at just a small or section of that candy bar of working on the social and working on those basic skills. So I think that is something that teachers struggle with, which I completely understand. I feel that with least restrictive environment, my administrators struggle with consistency of inclusion. I feel that we want to have students out in the general education classroom, whether it's the full extended time or a small frame of time with supports, and then students that may have very high needs. It is easier in some administrators' point of view to have them in the resource room and just go out for specials. But as the intervention specialists and the special education team, we try to work and have everybody see the importance of having even the highest needs of our students out with their peers. It's a process and it does not look the same with every student. So some things that I feel that would benefit the staff at my school is just more special education background. And yes, we do have professional developments of what an IEP is and differentiation, but I think you can have as many professional developments as you want, but I believe that the staff needs to be open to fully getting in the special education world and understanding it, not just understanding their curriculum, as it is important for intervention specialists, special education, to understand the general education's point of view of their curriculum. I do feel that schools in general need to have more intervention specialists and aid supports. Caseloads, as far as students being on IEPs and 504s, does not seem like it's decreasing anytime soon. It's only increasing. So with that being said, we need to increase our special education supports to help our students to be successful as possible in these classes.